What's going on?
I don't have much of a voice, but it's fine. It'll be good.
Hey, we're coming to you the afternoon after Taylor Swift karaoke at
Yes.
one of our spots, Steampunk Brewworks. Shout out to Mike,
hmm Hey,
coolest
Mike.
bartender.
Yes. We love you, Mike.
We
But
love you,
yeah,
Mike.
all of Taylor Swift's songs are too high for me, so my voice hurts.
And you know
It's
what's really
fine.
funny is that a lot of them, the high stuff, I am a soprano. So the high
hmm
stuff doesn't like that's fine for me, but a lot of her songs get too low for me.
Yeah, they do.
Um, she has an incredible range. We know this.
She does.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, coming to you from Taylor Swift karaoke, I injured my ankle because I was dancing in heeled boots for too long after walking a lot that day, and it was totally worth it.
It absolutely was. You looked great.
So that's where we're at mentally for all of you context, you
Just to give
know.
some context, what we got
Um,
going here.
I'm sitting in my brand new library. I'm just gonna show you. We finally finished painting this wall. It took months. But we're here. I have behind me, so I tried to kind of do it by genre rather than just aesthetically, but I've got my old timey classics up there, old timey meaning the books look old. I have a section for just Pride and Prejudice. I know I have more Pride and Prejudice books somewhere, but I collect them. So one shelf is just Pride and Prejudice. Then down here, I have my non old timey looking classics. So you've got like Dickens, Charlotte Bronte. I think there's Tolstoy, some Shakespeare's in there. And then down here, I have just my like fantasy romantasy, kind of meshed them together there. And we also get into like I also have my Edgar Allan Poe is in there, Frankenstein, Dracula, so some of those like old Gothic classics as well.
Mhm.
I have not organized that shelf, these shelves yet. So, and then over here, up there, we have murder mysteries. You probably can't spot it because the video is too small, but I have Girls Who Burn up there, which is one of the books we've done. Woo woo! Then over here, I have fairy tales and magic books, and this is a little dragon. I'll need to prop her up so you can see her properly. Um, down and then down here we've got like just fiction and fantasy, more fiction and fantasy. And then I haven't organized that one yet. So, yeah. So, finally have my library together. I'm so excited about it.
It looks great.
Oh, thank you. And I guess with that, I guess we can turn to what we are here to discuss today. Quicksilver,
Yes.
chapters 22 through 24 by Callie Hart.
Yes.
Um, so I guess I'll say trigger warning for extremely spicy scenes coming up, but I don't think we're gonna
Oh yeah.
get too into detail about it. But this is spicy scenes coming if you haven't already read them, and if you're planning on reading them. Chapter 22 is long, and a lot of it is smut. So
It, it's long because it's detailed. So,
yes, correct.
yeah.
All right. So with that, let's get into chapter recap.
Woo.
Okay, so chapter 22, which is called The Itch. Um, so where we're coming from is they've just had that whole scene with Malcolm, the evil vampire guy, being like, "Oh, Kingfisher, darling, I miss you." And they're like, had just broken the ice, and so the horde of feeders hasn't been able to reach their camp. And Saris and Carrion ran to help them break the ice despite being told to stay in the tent because they're like, well, we're just not going to sit here and do nothing. So um, there's like light coming off of my hand. Can you see that?
Yes. Yes, I can.
I'm magical. Um,
Or just really pale, but yes.
is this what happens to pale people?
Yes, all the time.
Oh my
A
god.
problem in pictures.
What? Okay, that's happening. Okay, Jeannie's laying down.
I
Very
think
good.
it's because of your teapot in the back. Because it's reflecting light, so I think you're refracting it around your
Oh,
hand when you put it up.
oh my
Yeah,
God, that's so cool. I love it. So they uh Ceres is like, like sitting down after the aftermath of all of it, and Kingfisher comes and he's like he goes to Ren, do you have the annoying one? And Carrion's like, I hope you're not talking about me. He is. He's talking about Carrion. And Ren's like, yes, I
absolutely.
have him. And Kingfisher's like to Ceres, he's like get up. He offers his hand and he's like, if you don't take my hand, I will just carry you. And she's like, okay. So she like takes his hand and he pulls her through a shadow gate and they are back in Kalish. Kalish? Did we decide it was Kalish or Kalish?
My brain says Kalish. Kalish sounds wrong to me. I think
Okay.
it's
Yeah, I think
Kalish.
it's Kalish. Um
Since I listened to it, Kalish sounds doesn't make me go ooh. So I think
okay.
that's I think that's right.
Okay. So he
Yeah.
takes her back to Kalish to his bedroom where Onyx is like, grrr. Onyx doesn't love Kingfisher, which is fair. Um,
Valid.
and so they're like trying to debrief, and she's like, You gonna talk about it? And he's like, no. Why haven't you worn the dresses I've been laying out for you for dinner? And she's like, I don't want to talk about dresses. And he's like, well, I brought you here so you could forget about what happened on the riverbank. So basically, he's like, well, let's talk about food. Don't you ever share food with Carrion again. I don't want to see you eating from the same plate as him ever again. And she's just like, what? I mean, okay. Okay, I guess, whatever. And she's
Mhm.
like, well, I don't really want to talk about food either. And basically it gets to they start arguing about their attraction to each other, where she's like, there's something here between us, you feel it, and he's like, it's just an itch I need to scratch. Before they do that though, she's kind of like forces the issue. She's like, hey, I have so many questions about what happened there. So Malcolm, we find out he is a high fae vampire. So when the curse was like initially, cast upon the fae to give them those canines and make them vampires, they retained who they were, and even though it was a curse meant to like punish them, there were a portion of fae who decided that they wanted the immortality, and so they were going to embrace it because they liked the power that came from the blood and all of that stuff. Malcolm is one of those original Fae. You also find out that he is probably the only one left alive that can actually turn Fae into high Fae vampires where they retain like their soul essentially. If anyone else of the like if any of his princes, so he's like the king of the vampires, and if any of his princes bite anyone, they turn into feeders. We also find out that most of the feeders are like human and lesser fae that didn't have the ability to protect themselves. So that's what happened to all the humans in Avelia. They're all feeders now. We also find out, this was interesting, and I want to touch on it in deep dive, that the the it wasn't like the curse was lifted. There was a cure to like the vampirism that many of the Fae took so they could, stop being so shameful and, become themselves again. But Malcolm did not take it. He refused to. So once her questions are out of the way, they start arguing about their attraction to each other. And basically, she's like, there's something here, and he's like, nah, you're just she's like, you're attracted to me, and he's like, yeah, I'm attracted to you. That doesn't mean I have feelings for you. It's just an itch that, I want to scratch. And so she's basically like, okay, well, like, let's do it then.
Let's scratch it. Yeah.
Yeah, let's scratch it. And he's like, no. And she's like, no, like, I'm asking you, like, let's have sex, let's do it. She says it a lot more explicitly. And and oh boy, do they do it.
It's very artistically written. I will give her that. It's very beautifully written, but
It
like,
is.
yeah, yeah,
That
it's
is
very
something that you maybe shouldn't
detailed.
listen to at work, even if you have non-Bluetooth headphones plugged into your phone, because your face will say what you're listening to.
I did listen to it at work, but it wasn't the first time I had listened to it, so that
Yeah,
did help.
that does
I
make a
was like, "Oh."
difference. I was
I was
listening
like,
to
"I knew it
this
was coming."
on the drive home from work, and I was like, whoa.
Oh, oh, yeah. I almost feel like it's worse in the car to me.
It
Like, I think
is.
it's because
I
it's
don't
not
know
just in
why.
my headphones. Like, so that's just with me. In my car, it feels more out in the open, and you're like,
It is. Well, yeah, because people can see you driving, and you're just driving, listening to just like extremely graphic and explicit sex scene, and you're just like driving, and the sun is shining, and other people are listening to music, and you're just like,
also, depending on how loud your book is, they can hear it. So,
oh yeah, no, I don't ever put it that loud.
yeah, I'm half deaf, so sometimes I do not thinking about it, and I'm like, sorry, let me just turn that down.
That's so funny.
But yes, yeah,
So yeah, they do it real good. Um, if
they get the job done.
Saris if Saris was mad at Carrion for how good he was in bed, she's probably absolutely livid with Kingfisher. I'll just put it
You
that way.
know, I thought the same thing. I was like, oh no, it's
Yeah,
a real blow to Carrion's ego.
yeah, yeah. So he rocks her world, and then essentially like is like, okay, well, I'm gonna go back to the war front. You're staying here. You're gonna take care of yourself. You're gonna rest. You're gonna eat food, and I'll come back for you in the morning. And then he disappears, and
Mhm.
she's like, what? So now, like, other than being really good in bed, she's also, this is a very legitimate reason for her to be mad at him. Um, does not acknowledge anything that they've just done, just pieces the F out. And she's like, excuse
Yeah.
me. So she's like wrapped in sheets, and she's like, has this moment where she's like, oh my God, he didn't. She's afraid that he like oath bound her to stay in his room. And so, like, or like in his bed. So she like bolts off the bed. She goes to the door. She opens it and puts a foot outside, realizes that she's not oath bound to stay anywhere. He's just like, hey, take care
Mhm.
of yourself. I'll be back in the morning. And then she realizes that Archer's right there. And so is Onyx. And she's like, how did Onyx get out here? Like, cause like last thing she
He was
remembers,
inside. Yeah.
yeah. Very
Hmm.
clearly Fisher's magic was like up and out by Onyx.
Base.
Yeah, but so she was like, she's like wrapped in a sheet, naked, very clearly having just like had sex, and her hair's a mess. And she's like, Archer, what are you doing here? And he's like, oh, I came because I heard sounds of distress. But then like I thought, maybe if you guys were, doing the thing, that maybe you would need some replenishment. And so I brought apple juice and snacks. And she's like, we didn't do the deed. And he's like, no, then are you okay? Like, because he heard sounds of physical, stuff. Are you okay? Are
Hmm.
you hurt? And she's like, someone kill me right now. Like, so mortifying. And she's like, no, no, we were moving furniture. And she like shuts the door more closed behind her. And Archer's like, oh, really? She's like, yeah, yeah, we moved the furniture. And then Fisher didn't like how it looked, so we moved it back. Mind you, again, she's naked, wrapped in a sheet, with her hair all over the place. Like, she's a mess. Um, and he's like, okay, well, here's your food. And she's like, thanks. And she like opens the door for Onyx to come in, and she shuts the door behind. And she's like, well, I'd like to just die now, basically. Same
Yeah.
girl. So she like picks at the food. She somehow manages to fall asleep or whatever. And when she wakes up, all we get, by the way, I don't know if I missed it because I was listening to this, but she wakes up and she was like, I woke up in a tentatively happy mood, and then I looked in the mirror and my mood went south real fast. And I don't think we find out what that is until she talks to Fisher about it later.
I don't think so.
So it's important to note that while they were doing the deed, Fisher's tattoos started moving, and some of his ink, like, went onto her body, onto, like, right above her chest, and, like, marked her with a bird. And
Hmm.
so she's like fuming about this. She gets herself ready. A shadow gate appears. She waits for Fisher to walk through. No one comes through. She's like, are you kidding me? He's gonna like make me walk through that alone. She gets ready, she goes through, no nausea. So the breakfast was right about her not feeling any effects after the first time.
Mhm.
And she's just like ready. She's not sure what to expect, but essentially what she didn't expect is Fisher is just like, "Great, you're here. Go to the forge and start working, and I'll catch up with you later."
Like
I
what?
don't remember. I don't remember. We might have started chapter 24 already.
I think we did. I think it starts with her like yelling at him basically to say like take this ink back and he's like that's not how it works.
So,
He's like go
chapter
cover it up if you want
23,
to.
yeah,
Yeah.
chapter 3 ticking clock actually starts with her waking up.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. So she like shuts the
Fine.
door on Archer, mortified. Chapter 23 ticking clock starts. She wakes up. She is bathed and dressed, ready for an argument and all of this stuff. And so um yeah, so she walks through the gate and is immediately like, "Hey, get this tattoo off of me. I never asked for a bird above my boob. Like I would like tattoos. I want them to be what I decide I want, where I want them, and I'm gonna go get them. This is not, I don't want this." And he's like, "I don't know. I'm sure it'll fade." He's like, "It'll fade, I think," essentially. And she's like, "What do you
What?
mean?" And she's like, "Shake my hand or something. Like, take your ink back." He's like, "That's not the way it works. Just go get it covered up if you really hate it that much." And she was like, no, like, basically, like, oh yeah, this is that part. Basically, he's like, "Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I can't take it back." And she's like, "Grr." And then he changes the subject really awkwardly to birth control. And he's like, "So you should probably take something." And she's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "'Cause of last night." And she like starts laughing and she's like, "I was cleansed at 14." And she says it so casually. And
Mm-hmm.
he's like, "What do you mean? What do you mean?" And he like goes stock still, anger flashing in his eyes. And she was like, "Yeah, everyone in the third is so poor. Matra has like a third of the women, like she calls it cleansed, it's sterilized. Um,
Sterilized.
when they're 14 to like stop the population from increasing. I can't have kids." And he is like so angry and she doesn't really understand why. She's just like, "Yeah, I can't have kids, Fisher. It's fine." And he is like so upset. We all know why. We know what's going on. They're mated to each other very clearly. The tattoo signifies that, but in some way.
Yeah.
This is not our first rodeo.
Not new to this.
Um, and so she's really confused. She's like, "I figured that you'd be happy about this." He's like, "Not happy about it." He's like, "Okay,
Mm-hmm.
well, go find the forge and do your stuff, and I'll find you at lunchtime, and you can report to me." The forge is like, what is it? Like a mile up a mountain, essentially.
It's up a mountain. Yeah. It's just she's like, what?
Yeah.
Why?
So she's like, and it's not even a hike. It's like she had to scale the mountain in parts to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And when she gets there, the fire's already lit. She's like, "Great, I can get started." She's looking around and uh once again can't find the Quicksilver anywhere. She's like, "Why does he keep hiding it from me?" And so she listens a little bit and she's like, okay, is it here? Is it outside? No, it's further up the mountain." She's like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" And so she trudges on up and she finds Carrie and Swift at a fire sitting there. And she's like, "What in the world?" And this part's really funny. So, like, she gets there. He's like, "Do you mind? You're blocking my light." And she's like, "What in the world is wrong with you? Like, ever since you got here, everything has just kind of been like, yeah, sure. Like, everything makes total sense. It's like, we were in Zilverin, and then all of a sudden, these, like, fey warriors, ginormous warriors with pointed teeth and ears, show up and have weapons and are fighting everywhere. And there's vampires and Malcolm and magic and shadow gates, and you just seem okay with it." And he's like, "Well, yeah, I knew about Faye." And she was like, "What do you mean you knew about Faye?" And he goes, "My grandma, Gracia, like, she told me about them. And Sarah's is like, well, yeah, all of our moms told us about Fae. They were bedtime stories. Don't tell me you believed it. And he was like, have you met my grandmother? And Sarah's is like, yeah. Like, Gracia is like this like engineer. She's very logical. She's very like cut and dry. And Sarah's is like, the more I think about it, it would be absolutely wild for her to be telling you fairy tales if she didn't believe that they were actually true. And so that's why we even commented on this where Carrie's kind of just like, whatever. And
I'm so casual.
she's like, oh my God. So like you grew up believing that all of this is true. You grew up believing that you might at some point be kidnapped into another world and you're just okay with it. And he's like, yeah, pretty much. And then we get to this point where I don't know if you remember on the first episode that we did, I was like, there's this excerpt in the beginning of the book.
Mm-hmm.
It comes around full circle right now. I'm going to read it to you again because I have an excerpt to read from chapter 23. Okay, so talking about Gracia, he goes, she had this book, he said, holding up the one in his hand as if it were the book in question. Has all kinds of pictures, illustrations, the text faded in places, but she knows the damn thing from cover to cover, so it never mattered. I dare say I know it by heart now too. Fey creatures of the Gilrain of the Galarian Fey Creatures of the Galarian Mountains, it's called. There's a note written on the first page. It says, never forget, monsters thrive best in the dark. Commit all you read here to memory. Prepare for war. Carrion, that is the excerpt that was in the beginning of the book.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
realize that.
Carrion held up his middle finger and index finger. 2 exclamation points. The Swifts have always been very serious people. Gracia took the superfluous punctuation to mean that the situation, should these Galarian Fey creatures ever show their faces, would be very dire indeed. So that explains why Carrion's just like, yeah, this is happening.
It's fine.
I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
It makes so much more sense. Also, I cannot wait to talk about that in deep dive because, like, wow. So
Yeah.
she's kind of just like, well, okay. So you want to help me burn stuff that's more useful than whatever you're doing right now? Shuts the book and is like, absolutely, I do. And so he ends up going to the forge to help her out with testing the Quicksilver. She's also like, so we find out that like basically he was like, I didn't want to have this. I didn't want to be here waiting for you with this Quicksilver. Kingfisher appeared in my tent before the sun had risen, grumpy as heck, and was like, hey, take this. And then like disappeared. And she was like, you didn't open the box? And he was like, well, normally I would have, but when I held the box, I got a prickling sensation in my hand, so I thought maybe just this once I would listen to him and not open it. And she was like, what does it
Mm-hmm.
mean? So they try 3 more combinations: magnesium powder, salt, and distilled water, bismuth, copper, and antimony, and bluestone chalk and lead. And they're all failures. The antimony makes them both, the fumes make them both throw up. But by the time it's lunchtime, they're able to eat again. Carrion goes to get food. He does get 2 plates. And they're sitting there eating when Kingfisher comes and appears as he does. And he's like grumpy. He's like, why are you guys not working? And Saris is like, hello, we have been working all morning. We're not slaves. Like, we're eating. Chill. And she's like, we even have 2 plates. See, Fisher, see, 2 plates. Carrion goes, man, you need to get laid. It might help with some of the grumpiness. And Saris is like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's this moment where like I wrote down like comes out of nowhere, basically, where oh well, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So Saris is basically like, hey, you hid the Quicksilver from me at Kalish. You hid it this time. Like, why don't you just leave it out for me to find? And he says, well, to make it a little bit more interesting, also, you never know when you're going to need to sense Quicksilver at a distance, and this will help you hone those skills. And so he's basically like, what are you doing here, Carrion? And she's like, he's helping me. And Fisher's like, I can find you another job, threatens to give him latrine duty, but tells him to go to Renfist for a job. And he's like, so are you not going to do any more tests today? She's like, no, I have to refine the metal. And he was like, Leave that. There's other metal. There's other people here who can refine the metal for you. He also has this really weird moment that comes out of absolutely nowhere. It's weird in the context of the book. As a reader of fantasy, it's not weird, but it does come out of nowhere. Where Carrion calls Sarah Sunshine, and he's like, "Don't call her Sunshine. She's Moonlight. She's this, that, that. You can call her Your Majesty." And
Yep,
I mean, yeah.
a lot. It's a lot for sleeping with someone once, I will be honest.
It is a lot. Here's the exact quote. Okay, so he's like, "Don't call her Sunshine." Carrion's like, "Why not?" And Fisher goes, "Because she is moonlight, the mist that shrouds the mountains, the bite of electricity in the air before a storm, the smoke that rolls across a battlefield before the killing starts. You have no idea what she is, what she could be. You should call her Majesty."
I think we know who won Drama Queen of the section.
Oh, Lord, yes.
We'll get there.
We'll get
Oh.
there.
And also, like, again, this is Carrion. Just like
Yeah,
happy go lucky, like goofy Carrion, right? And I'm sure
yeah.
he's just like, are you okay?
Yeah, Carrion's like, what did I do? I don't understand. He's like, "Yeah, whatever, I'll go find Renfis. It's all good." Um, and so Kingfisher's like, "Hey, let someone else refine the metal. I have something else that I need you for. Come with me."
Mhm.
Which brings us to chapter 24, Lupo Proelia, which there's a line in this chapter that I might have to edit out, but I need to read it for you, and I think you know what I'm talking about.
I think so, but if not, I'm excited for whatever you're gonna show me.
It just, I read it and I was like, "Oh my God." Um,
I'm
so
ready.
okay. So they're back in the war room and they're looking at the
Mhm.
shards of the sword that are still buried
Mhm.
into the wall. And Runfus goes, there are 563 of them. One of our metal workers tried to pull them out with forceps, but they're so fine he couldn't grip them properly. Two of them snapped. The ends are still buried inside the stone, which is not good. So, she also notices like Kingfisher's like kind of bruised and bloodied up, and so is Renfus. She's like, "What happened at training?" Renfus is like, "Kingfisher's in a bad mood, is what happened at training." And she's like, "Okay." And so, Lorith is there, who I know he probably is described differently, but in my mind, Lorith and Lorcan look the same. Lorcan from Throne of Glass.
Oh,
And I don't know if it's just the
yes.
LOR at the beginning of their names.
I think so. I will be honest with you. I picture, which I know he's supposed to be beefier than this, but I cannot. You have you seen The Knight's Tale?
Yes.
So it's not Heath Ledger's character, but they're like minstrel because he's a minstrel. They talk about that. They're like, I can't think of his name. Paul Bentley.
I know who you're talking
Paul
about.
Bentley's character
Yep.
in that is who I like. I don't think that's
Oh, that's
even close
so
to what he
funny.
looks like, but that's what I because
I'll be
he's like a
honest with you, I
minstrel
have
type
no idea
character.
what he looks like. He just looks like what
I
I
don't know if
thought
we get a
Lorcan
good
looked like.
description. No, that's fair. I remember she was like, he's big, and in my mind, I was like, oh,
Yeah,
Paul Bentley's not like a big. He's tall, but he's not like
he's not big.
necessarily built. Okay,
Yeah.
that movie, he kind of is, but
He did get into shape for that movie. That's true.
yeah.
Yeah. So, Lorcan, Lorith, and Danya are in the war room as well. And basically Runfus is like, "Hey, we need you to take the metal out of the wall." And she's like, "Why can't you just, grind the metal down into the wall and then make Danya another sword?" And she's like genuinely asking, like, "Wouldn't it be easier to just do that?" And Renfis is like, "No, it's one of the old god swords. And even though hers doesn't have any power left in it like Kingfisher's does, these are basically like relics. They're like family heirlooms and they mean a great deal to people. And Danya's sword means a great deal to her as well." While this is all happening, Danya is, God, I don't know why you would write a character like her. I really don't like her.
I I know what she is supposed to be, and I have thoughts. I have a
Okay.
thing I'm gonna do for my corner that we're gonna go
Okay.
through it.
All right.
But
Good. Cuz
yes. Yeah.
like she's
Yeah.
just very like her we've talked about how this book is not great in terms of the Bechdel test. You know, like technically it passes but very nearly not. Um
I mean, technically, they talk about something that isn't
that's
men. It's
not
a sword,
men. Yeah, but so
which is
like
not
when
an
you say it
innuendo. It's a legitimate
passes
sword.
the Bechdel test, it's at like literally just the very basest level of it.
Which is more than most books.
It is, well, it is also written by a woman, so you know, you would hope so.
Yeah.
But
That
I
does not
know.
always mean anything.
Oh, trust me, I know. I am aware. But you would hope so. But so she's like just essentially like this woman tried to kill Kingfisher, who was her commander, and apparently like a king to their people, if the tree
Mhm.
guy is to be believed.
Yeah.
Um she punched Lorith in the face really hard, and she is furious that anyone is treating Ceres with any sort of respect after what she did to the sword. And she's like, "What is wrong with you? Like, you don't even care about it." And like, Ceres is like a little hurt. She's like, she doesn't know me at all, but like, she also couldn't be more wrong. I care deeply that I destroyed this thing of such importance. I want to know how I did it and how I can have it fixed. And like, I have no idea where to begin to get it out of the wall, but like, I can
Mhm.
try. So she's like trying to sense the sword, and then she realizes that it's been imbued with a little bit of Quicksilver. This is where we find out that all of the metal that has had some sort of reaction to her in her entire life has had trace amounts of Quicksilver in it. We also find out that alchemists have been able to work with Quicksilver in terms of like imbuing other alloys and metals with it, but no alchemist has ever been able to shatter a sword before. Like no alchemist has ever been able to command the Quicksilver like she had done. So they're like, "You're like literally the most powerful alchemist on record." And she's like, "Oh my word." That's a lot of pressure. We also find out that according to Ramphis, because Danya's like, "What is wrong with all of you? How dare you treat her like this? Like, she's like, "Fisher, would you ever treat someone in your command this way after acting the way they did, after acting the way she did to you?" And he's like, "No, but you're missing the point. She's not in this army, first of all. And you're
Mhm.
not her superior, so she didn't do anything wrong. Like, you're missing the point entirely here." Danya's upset. I don't care about it. She sucks. I'm hoping she has character growth, but we'll see. Um, And basically, Renfus is like, "Donnie, you don't understand the situation that we're in right now. Like, it's not that we're going to be fighting this war in 100 years still. We're not even going to be fighting this war in 12 years. We have 12 months.
Mhm.
We have no resources. Bellacon's not sending any sort of backup. We don't have any metal to arm people with. We don't have any hope of anything. We don't have more than a year to turn the tide in this war, or Malcolm is going to win. And Ceres is the only hope that we have of being able to make weapons and relics and all of that, like to turn the tide of the war." So Ceres
Mhm.
has a panic attack, as I would too. She's outside, like, you know, panicking. Lorith goes
Mhm.
outside and he's like eating an apple. He's doing the really like hot guy thing where he's like carving an apple with a knife in his hand and then like popping the
Yeah.
pieces of apple into his mouth. And he's like, "Maybe if you put your head between your legs, you know, like that might help your breathing calm down." And she's like, "You know what would help? Alcohol." So Lorith takes her to the tavern. I have thoughts on her tolerance for drinking and why it makes a lot of sense. She's drinking Lorith under the table. She's had
Mhm.
5 heavy pours of whiskey, and Lorith is drunker than she is. And they're kind of
Mhm.
bonding. It's cute. I love their friendship. She asks him about vampires and their teeth. Not vampires, the teeth of the Fae who are no longer vampires. She's like, "So your teeth, you don't need to drink blood anymore, but you can." And he like kind of chokes on his drink and he's like, "Yes?" And she's like, "Tell me more about it." And he's like, I need to be way drunker for this. And essentially, he's like, it's really taboo and we don't talk about this in polite society. But since no one apparently has told you, yes, technically speaking, we can still drink blood, but it's like a sex thing. And we don't talk about it in public. And he's like, not only because like it's a sex thing, but also because there's a chance that Faye could
Mhm.
lose control and actually kill the person whose blood they're drinking. And he's like, but that's I'm not saying anything else about it. Please talk to whoever wants to drink your blood about this and not me. And she's like, does he know that Kingfisher and I slept together? He probably knows that I slept with someone, but does he know that it's Kingfisher? Because he can smell those things underneath the soap,
Mhm.
apparently, which is mortifying. And she's like,
Mhm.
okay, new subject. How do you know, all of these people? How'd you get here? We find out that he used to be a minstrel as a young lad, and he was kind of very hungry and an easy target. And a couple of feeders got him and nearly completely killed him when Kingfisher found him. And I don't know, we don't know. He's like, I don't know what made him do it, but he carried me to his home, kept me in bed with the best healers, and like we're basically like um they're basically like this man is not going to live and you should just leave and we'll bury him, when he dies. And something about Lorith made Kingfisher be a complete stranger. Kingfisher was like, "No, I'm saving him," and he gave him a part of his soul. So a part of Kingfisher's soul lives in Lorith. And Ceres is like, "What now?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's something that's like it's a really old rite, ritual that not a lot of people know how to do anymore, but Kingfisher knows." And so he gave me a part of his soul, and so like that's how we're like actual brothers. Like we share a soul. We're brothers. He saved my life, and here I am now. We find out that when this happens, like if the person who so if Lorith died, then that piece of that soul would just be returned to Kingfisher. But if Kingfisher died first, then he would have to wait around, essentially as a ghost, until Lorith also died to have that piece returned to him to go into the whatever their version of heaven is. We find out that there's a queen of the Queen Sarsha of Lysane, Lys, Lycian, Queen Sarsha of
Don't
Lycian,
remember.
of the Lycian Fae. Her mom saved her as a child by doing this soul right thing, and then her
Mhm.
mother died later, and then the Sarsha just decided that she wanted to be immortal, and it's been 3,000 years since her mother had died, and it's kind of just waiting around in ghost form. And Sarsha's just like, well, I'm gonna live forever. Haha, mother. And it's
Mhm.
like, whoa. So there's some really evil fae out there. I feel like that's an important. I feel like that's gonna come back. If not in this book, it's gonna come back in the series for sure. Because that's such a weird,
I Yeah.
specific line that like just thrown in there. Um, Lorith is like, but Kingfisher doesn't have to worry about that because I plan to die first. But if he dies first, then I will
Mhm.
also die by my own hand, um, and join him in heaven. Like I'm not making him wait. If he
Yeah.
dies, I die. That's it. And that's
Mhm.
the way that the chapter ends. Oh,
Yeah. It's intense. It's a really intense way to end the chapter.
it is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I need some coffee after that. So that's the chapters. I
Mhm.
It's an intense way to end the chapters, but this is I think the first in a while that haven't it hasn't ended on like a cliffhanger per se. Um, Kingfisher
Yeah, it's just like
has
a lore dump.
disappeared again back to Kalish. We don't really know what for, but
To see a healer.
yeah,
We don't know
to see a
why.
healer. We don't know
He
why.
keeps going back to see the healer, and Sarah is not happy about it.
She's not happy about it. Yeah,
She's like, I know I'm jealous and it's dumb, but I am.
but I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, section superlatives. drama queen in this
I mean,
section.
I think we already labeled him. That one line.
That, yes, I do believe Kingfisher is the drama queen. I mean,
Yeah. Who
Saris's
just shifts
feelings
into
around
long
it are
romantic speeches.
very legitimate. Like, she's like
Yeah.
reeling, as would any normal person. And
Well,
Kingfisher
yeah.
is just pretending it doesn't happen until he's not. Until he's like, I'm obsessed with her.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely pulling what I like to call a resand, where he knows everything that's going on and is refusing to tell Saris.
Yeah.
And she's figuring it out somewhat for her own devices, but she's also just baffled at any and all. Because again, humans don't have this concept.
Right. Right. It's
She's
not
not
a
her.
thing
Like,
that
I'm just waiting
exists.
for Carrion to like drop it in and be like, so yeah, he's your mate.
Yeah.
Or just like kill him, basically, or try not
Right.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That, I want to see that scene. That would be so fun.
it would be funny. I actually don't remember if that happens or not, but that's what I want. Because, like, at this point, I don't think Rin's gonna tell her. I guess maybe now all I can think of is Lorcan, but the L guy might.
Lorith.
They're clearly establishing. Loreth is
Yeah.
establishing some sort of friendship there, but he seems uncomfortable by any and all mate discussions, so I don't think it's
Yeah.
gonna come from him.
Oh
Oh,
my god. Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. And
yeah.
then craziest thing to happen?
For me, it was the brother bond thing that was
Yeah.
very like it is I've seen it in other things, not frequently. So I
Yeah,
thought
it
it was
was very
interesting.
out of the blue. I had
Hmm.
never, I guess there's like a similar type of bond in Throne of Glass for like the cadre. They're
Yeah,
not they're bound to Maeve, not each other,
Maeve,
but
yeah.
they
Hmm.
have like that sort of like blood oath soul brothership bond type of thing.
Thing. Yeah. Hmm.
But yeah, that was super surprising. Not what I was expecting at all.
No. It feels it didn't feel out of the blue, it felt natural, but it was just kind of
Hmm.
like, oh, like we are definitely Saris in this book learning
Yeah.
as we go because Kingfisher is not good at explaining.
God, he's the worst.
Communication is not a strong suit, which I mean, in theory, that might have been more of. I can see maybe him not doing it because he thinks it's Lorith's like story
That
to tell.
that yeah, that one sure. That makes sense.
Yeah, which is fair.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Shall we go to Colleen's corner?
is my corner. We can.
Colleen's corner.
Woo! Okay. So it's gonna be a little bit jumbly, but they're both somewhat related. So there's kind of
Okay.
two different things, or a couple. One of them I already kind of went over, but there's just like I consume a lot of other media, and there are things in these books that are reminding me of other forms of media. So I'm going to talk about different things in relation to different types of that. So
Okay.
the first one I brought up was the Knight's Tale thing. This like section to me, I don't know why, more than the rest of it feels very Knight's Tale-y. I think
Mhm.
it almost feels more it's not whimsical because that movie's not necessarily whimsical. There's some darkness to it, but kind of. So,
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. If you've seen the movie, I think it makes sense. It's not like an exact. I think it's mostly the minstrel thing, like that
Yes.
just really like stuck in my brain.
Well,
As
yeah,
I
you
know there's
don't
plenty of
see a
minstrels.
lot. Oh, I was gonna say you don't see a lot of like main side characters that are minstrels.
No, especially not ones that like. It's kind of a similar thing that were like. I remember correctly. Like, didn't they find him? It's been a minute. Like him on the side of the road at one point in that movie, and
Completely
like that's
naked.
kind of how he joined.
Yep.
Huh?
Yeah, they found him on the
Yeah,
side of the
like
road completely naked.
it yes, okay, that's what I thought, which is why I was like, I think that's why this is burned into my brain because I remember seeing Paul Bentley,
Yeah.
but like maybe I'm imagining things. But like
Maybe
that
not.
story felt very like Knight's Tale, which again, if you have not watched and you love fantasy,
Oh,
please watch it. It's so
you should.
good.
It's so good.
So good, honestly. Movie night, we should watch it. So
Oh,
good.
yes.
Um
Definitely.
But so like that's very Knight's Tale-y to me. Like Lorith, it's kind of like to me, it's not how this book has this element of like almost verseness to
Mhm.
it, where it's taking these things
Mhm.
that I've seen in other places and plopping them in here in its own
Yeah.
way. So oh gosh, what is her name? Danya?
Danya.
Danya. Danya. Okay. She reminds me of, so I like this character, but I think I have an idea as to kind of maybe why she is the way that she is, kind of thing. So she reminds me of like a very bitter version of Brienne of Tarth from Game of Thrones.
Okay. I could see
Mostly,
it.
some of it's the like warrior knight thing, and I think for Danya and for Brienne, both loyalty and things remaining the same are really important to them.
Yeah.
Like it's not that, like, interestingly, you would think almost in Game of Thrones that Brienne wants change so she can be the Lady Knight. She really doesn't want that much change. Like she was the happiest at the beginning, where she was Lady Knight with the king or whatever. So I mean, it was some, but she didn't like. The more the book progressed, the less happy
Yeah.
she became. But I think that's kind of the issue with Danya. So like we're seeing glimpses of Kingfisher's past, right? We're seeing what he was like. We're
Mhm.
seeing this like merry band of warriors that, kind of had this like somewhat carefree life, but still had a purpose,
Yeah.
what they were fighting against, and had some hope. And she is stuck. She is stuck there.
Mhm.
Then Kingfisher died, right? So she mourned that past that
Yes.
she had,
Yeah.
but they're still in the same fight, so she's like focused on that, right? Then Kingfisher comes back, brings this woman that no, she knows nothing about.
Yeah.
Kingfisher didn't come find them, refuses to explain where he's been, and she's like, I think in her mind she's like, you cannot be Kingfisher. Like she cannot get past
Yeah.
that he's changed or that anything happened to him. She's like, no, he
Mhm.
would clearly, like, this is so antithetical to his character, mostly. And so she's like, no, if I kill you, I can go back to living the life that I was living. Like, she just wants to go back to what made sense to her. She's like, she's so entrenched in war
Yes.
that that's what she knows.
Yeah.
That's what she wants. That's what she knows. She doesn't want to take risks and risk everyone else.
Mhm.
And that's why Ren is like, no, no, I see you. I see what you're wanting. You're stupid.
Yeah.
You're not looking at this holistically. So I think
Right.
so I, I think she's a similar, I think Brienne handled things better, at least from
I also
the
have
show. I've not read the
a
books.
loophole to, or
Okay.
a plot hole. There we go for your theory.
Okay.
Is that
Okay.
if she knows
Hmm.
Kingfisher so well, and she is in
Hmm.
fact Fae,
Hmm.
wouldn't she suspect that something was wrong like the others do also?
Oh, I think she thinks he's still himself. He's just not the version of him that she wants. And so she would rather kill the current version of him
No,
and
but what
keep the
I'm
past version
saying,
of him.
not in that way. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure
Okay.
Breakfast and Lorith have some sort of suspicion that whatever happened to
Yeah.
Kingfisher is not, it's against his
Hmm.
will. He's not changed.
Yes. Yeah.
Something happened to him that's against
Yes.
his will, and he's doing the best he can to not let it affect anyone else. So why wouldn't
Yes.
she also have the same thought, having all of the same knowledge as everyone else, being Faye? And knowing
She
and
doesn't
being one of
care.
the original of his like group of people. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, no, she sucks and doesn't care. That's why. Like, I'm
Okay.
not like defending her actions, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I'm saying she's like, I don't know. I've met people that are this way, and maybe some of this is because I'm from like a small town setting, but like they want things to be the way that they are the most comfortable,
Mm.
even if it's uncomfortable for other people. Like, she is used to being in war. She's comfortable here. I also kind of think maybe that she likes Kingfisher and is upset that maybe he found his mate. I think that's also
I
part of
would
it,
that
to
that
be
wouldn't
honest.
surprise me. Yeah.
So I think it's this like jealous, unprocessed trauma thing
Mhm.
where she's just like, if I kill you and wipe all of this out, we can go back to where I've already mourned you and we're done, and I can just go back to living my life the way that I was living it. Because
It
I
feels
think she somehow knows that she can't take it back. She's
no,
delusional. I'm not
she
saying
is
she's
delusional.
correct,
No, I was
but
gonna say
I
it
think
feels
that's
very Klaus Michelson, like
yeah,
before he had a daughter.
very much so. Yeah, like he knows he can't have back what he that like unhinged caring
Yeah.
thing
Yeah, I get
almost.
it. I get it now. I get it now.
I
Okay.
was like, I don't know how to explain it, but like
Yeah.
'cause that's why I kind of compared her to like Brienne, which is also
Yeah,
the closest like lady night
Brienne
thing I
makes
have.
sense. Yeah. Yeah.
I
But
think
like if
Brienne's a
if
better
she's a little more level-headed.
I think Brienne is what I think Brienne is what Danya was. I
Yeah.
think this like strong, like I think she like loyalty to her is everything.
Yeah.
And she doesn't think that anyone else here is being loyal. They're just like giving him this pass and she's like, "No," which to her credit, I do think they should hold Kingfisher more accountable for his
Well,
actions.
yes. I don't think the
Maybe not
Kingfisher
killing
should
him.
get a pass, but yeah, but like
Yeah, that
I
might be
agree with yeah,
intense.
no, you're right. I agree that he shouldn't get a pass for how he's been acting and all of that, but yeah,
Yeah.
maybe don't go for the kill and then be offended
No.
when, you know, everyone's like, "Hey, you were wrong."
Yes. I don't think she's just very like brute force character. Like that's what
Yeah,
she knows and what she can handle and any sort of emotional complexity out of her depth.
absolutely not. Yeah.
Not for her. Like she is a dwarf in Lord of the Rings. That also could be a good comparison.
Yeah.
She's a dwarf from Lord of the Rings. They
She's a
don't
dwarf
handle
from Lord
emotional
of the Rings.
complexity well.
No.
Then one more thing
Okay.
that I'm trying not to give too many spoilers for like a different book, especially if you haven't read it. Have you ever read Song of Achilles?
No. But you can spoil it. I don't mind.
Okay. Okay. So I did. It is beautifully written. It is not a book for me. I will be honest. It was too pretty. Like it was just too it's gorgeous. But it's the story of Patroclus and well, I cannot not think of his partner right now off the top of my head. Archimedes? No. It's two demigods. I read this a long time ago and I like kind of struggled to keep up with it. I think if I physically read it, I would have been better, but listening to it while at work was a bit much. But
Yeah.
the comparison part is Patroclus's character at one point, and I can't remember exactly why, so it's kind of a spoiler, but not. They have a similar thing, and so I'm wondering if maybe this isn't a myth thing with the bond and you saying present. Because at one point, Patroclus is like essentially bound, he dies and is bound to stay on the earth when like his love has died and moved on, and he is stuck there on the earth and can't do anything and is observing it until someone releases him. So I'm wondering if this is like
Oh.
a maybe like a myth thing that I haven't heard a
Yeah.
lot of. That's the only immediately what I thought of when I read because the first time I read this, I don't think I had read Song of Achilles. And so when I read that and then
Yeah.
read this, I was like, oh, because it was hard like the way that it's talked about in that book, it's the only thing I read. If you see people crying in that book, that
It's that. Yeah.
is why. It is heartbreaking to see him like go through and I think it was something like his mother bound him. It was like someone else that he loved was the one that bound him to where he couldn't move on and, process. So
Yeah.
anywho, that was I'm wondering if maybe that's not some of the inspiration for
That's so interesting. I bet it is,
this.
especially I bet it is. Maybe we could do some research and
Yeah.
touch base on it next time.
So yeah, that's all I had. But it was like kind of so it's all like outside media related, but three different
Yeah.
versions
Love
of
it.
it. So there you go. Media comparisons. That's what I
Love
had.
it. Um,
Yes.
do you want to do a quick Beauty and the Beast comparison?
We can. I don't know if I had anything in particular
So,
to do it, but
I
do you?
know you had said that to you, Carrion was sort of like Lumiere. I
Yeah.
think that Lorith is more Lumiere, minus the sexy, I'm too sexy for you aspect of Lumiere.
Could be. Yeah.
Yeah. Because,
Yeah.
and here's my argument why. Because he Lumiere is like extremely unbothered by the beast's tantrums and all of that, but you can tell he cares for
It's
him.
true.
There's a bond there.
Hmm.
Like he cares for the
It's true.
beast, but he's also kind of just like, yeah, beast is acting up, whatever. I'm gonna go do something else now, you know? And
Yeah.
Lorith is very much like same.
He's an unbothered man. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
very unbothered. The
It's
only
true.
thing that bothers him is sexual stuff, which is funny. That's the opposite of
She's very
Lumiere. Lumiere's like,
antithetical
oh
to
yeah.
Lumiere. Yeah, I think maybe she like split his character
Yeah,
and like Carrion took the suave, like
yeah. I like that.
Frenchman part and Lorith
Yeah,
took the like loyal, steady character side of him.
yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
And then oh, what was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? Oh, one character, very important character that we didn't classify
Okay.
last time is Onyx, is the footstool dog.
Oh, yeah, that's cute.
Yeah.
I like that. That's perfect.
Yes.
Yes, no, that's perfect. Yeah, that cute little scrum.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what Archer would be. Archer feels very Cogsworth, but I kind of already gave
Archer
that to
does
Ren. But
feel.
Archer,
I feel like you're right though. Archer feels super Cogsworth. He's very like, and
he feels more
same thing.
Cogsworth.
Cogsworth and the Beast have a great relationship. Cogsworth
They
is
do. Yeah.
very nervous about the Beast having tantrums, and it appears that Archer too is very nervous about Kingfisher's reactions, which is funny because Kingfisher is just lovely to him all the time.
Oh yeah, like Kingfisher is not having any sort of like
Yeah.
whatever wrath Kingfisher is feeling, he is not putting
It's
it on Archer
not towards
at all.
Archer. But Archer's like, oh my
Everyone
god.
else, he's just so worried. Yeah, I think he wants to respect him and has his respect so much that he
Yeah.
wants to get it right. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
fair.
So like
I like it.
Ren and Archer share Cogsworth, and
That Cogsworth
Carrion and
split. Yeah,
Lorith share Lumiere.
I like that. That's fun. I mean, it makes sense because it's
Yeah.
not direct, but it has that like splitting
Yeah,
personalities. I like it.
it does. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there.
I think
Um
Danya is Gaston.
oh
Just gonna put that out there. If anyone has made me feel like Gaston in these books, it is Danya.
it is Danya. Agreed.
Yeah. I no, she annoys me too. I understand her character. I don't like her. Like I wouldn't enjoy hanging out with her, but
Yeah,
yeah.
same. Okay. Do you want to get into the deep dive?
Deep
Deep
dive.
dive discussion. Dun dun dun.
Woo.
Before we get into the actual deep dive, it's funny that you mentioned the Song of Achilles series talking about Greek mythology. Um,
Hmm.
so my dog Jeannie, she doesn't she's not ever trying to run away, but she will hop the fence to go and see her upstairs neighbor dog friend Rip, or to just go up there and
Yes.
steal his tennis balls while he's not there, which I think is hilarious.
It's very funny.
It's pretty funny. We have to throw, I think we have like 3 or 4 of them in our house right now that we have to throw back over. But
Go back.
so we have this like, whatever, like 30-foot lead that we attach to her so that we can let her out there and she
Hmm.
can do whatever. Well, the problem with the anchors that we've been tying her to is as she's getting bigger, she's getting stronger. And so first it was
Hmm.
our fire pit. She couldn't pull against the fire pit. Then she dragged the fire pit halfway up the hill one day and we were like, "Okay, new anchor time." Um, so we started using this like pretty large log, you know, that
Hmm.
kept her fine for a while. And then like this week, she maybe halfway through last week, she got strong enough to start kind of like pulling the log a little bit. But we've kind of kept it because the
Hmm.
log will get caught on the rocks and stuff in the back, so she can't ever
Yeah.
actually get far. Um,
Hmm.
but we were watching her today. She saw something like kind of far off our patio, and so she started running, and then the log caught her a little bit, and then she was just really determined, so she just like kept walking with it, and she's just dragging the log behind her. And like we're just watching her do it and we're like kind of chuckling like she's fine. It's not
Hmm.
she
Yeah.
does it to herself. She does it on purpose all the time.
Mhm.
No harm has come to her from it. But I'm just like, it's like Sisyphus and his boulder, except it's Genie dragging a log up the hill over and over
A
again.
log up the hill.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
In hopes to reach
she
the top.
is
Yes.
Sisyphus, and she will never reach the top because we will keep bringing that log back down.
Roll back down. Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah, very topical for
Like
this
it.
episode, I think.
Incredible. Love a Greek myth.
Yeah. Okay, so deep dive. Let's talk about the cure,
Dead.
shall we?
Oh, the vampire cure.
Yeah, this was my
Yeah.
sticky note that I had. I wrote 3 things
Love it.
on it. That this is what I
Like
prepared
it.
for chapter recap this week.
You did great. It's
Thanks.
perfect.
Thank you. So I read the thing about the cure, and we've been talking a lot about Vampire Diaries because Kingfisher and Damon
We
are
have.
very similar. Um,
They are.
and it just made me think that what was the cure? Was it a potion? Was it because he says they took the cure specifically.
Yeah.
So it's not like they lifted the curse. They took a cure for vampirism. And as we
Hmm.
know in the Vampire Diaries, there's only one cure for vampirism. And
Hmm.
you think that someone's taken it, you think they've lost it for good. I mean, they dragged this thing out for like 3 seasons.
They do.
And then eventually they come up with another cure somehow. Cuz like Elena,
Magic cure.
cuz like Catherine takes the cure and dies. But then yeah, they come up with a magic cure for vampirism eventually. But I just
Yeah.
wanted to just put that in there and then like drop that in here and then like discuss. Um
Yeah.
if there was more than one cure for vampirism of the Vampire Diaries cast that we know, who do you think would take it and who would be like Malcolm and be like, nah, I want all the power?
Klaus would not take it. Klaus is
No.
perfectly fine being the way he is.
Yeah.
Once he bonded with his werewolf side, he is perfectly content with being
Yeah.
himself. Um,
I think
I
Elijah
think
would take
Stefan would
it.
take it. I was trying to decide with Elijah because I think Elijah would want to, but I think because Klaus doesn't, he wouldn't.
Yeah, you're
He would
right.
do it to keep Klaus in check because he's the only one that can. No one else really
Yeah,
can.
it's true. Ugh, I love that man.
Oh, Elijah, you have my heart and soul.
Y-
Love him.
you're right though. Stefan would take it in a heartbeat. Um,
Damon would take it only if Elena would,
yeah, yeah.
which I think she would.
Elena. It's all Elena.
Which
Elena
they
never
do in the
wanted to
end,
be a
right?
vampire. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So Damon definitely would. Caroline, 100%.
I think she would.
Hers
Yeah,
was forced. Yeah.
yeah. She did
Um,
become. She did become a better version of herself as a
she
vampire.
did.
But part of
She
that
did.
was
I liked
also she was 16 and then she turned into a vampire at 16. So she also just would have probably become a better person as a person too.
as it evolved. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Caroline would. I I think a lot of people say Rebecca would. I actually don't think. I think if it would have been earlier than the Vampire Diaries, she would have. But I think
Yeah.
by that point, she's just used to being a vamp. Like, I think the originals would have a hard time with it because
Mhm.
they've had it for so long.
So
Like,
long.
they just
Yeah.
are vampires. Like,
I
they don't really
agree.
know what life would be like without it.
I agree. Although Rebecca would believe that she was in love with a human and take it. Like
That's true.
that's how it would happen. Also,
That's
everyone
true.
leave Rebecca alone, okay? Cuz she deserves so much more from literally everyone in her life.
She does. I agree. Yeah, she was kind of so I like originals Rebecca. I do not like Vampire Diaries Rebecca. I will be
Agreed.
honest. She's kind
Agreed.
of the worst in that.
She's
I
yeah.
do think it's hilarious that someone who is eternally alive is obsessed with becoming like what homecoming queen or prom queen.
Yes. Yeah.
It's so funny to me.
It's
She's like, that's
really
the only
funny.
thing I want. And
Yeah.
I'm like, ma'am,
You're
you
like,
could have done
hon,
that
you
10 times over.
yeah.
I don't understand why this year has to be the year that you do it. Like, I'm so confused.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah,
Vampire Diaries Rebecca sucks, but like originals
she's lovely in
Rebecca
that. Yeah.
is yeah, I love her. Um
I want her and what is his name? Marsh, not Marseille. What's his
Marcel.
name?
Is it Marcel?
Marcel. They need to take it and be together. I love them.
Yes, yes. If I think that if they took it together, they would be finally happy and they'd be able to like have a life and all of that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, they deserve
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
I agree.
I love them.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that it's interesting that because like I agree Stefan would take it in a heartbeat. I think Damon would only take it because Elena wants to be a human, so
Hmm.
he would do it for her and he would be very happy doing it for her. But I think
Yeah,
it's
he'd be
funny
fine.
because he didn't want to be a vampire in the first place and Stefan made
But
him.
he likes being a vampire. Yeah. No, he likes Damon likes being a
He does.
vampire. Like he didn't want to be, but he's turned into a person that like
Yeah. He's like, I'm a
very okay with
vampire.
it.
Yeah. It's great.
It just existed. Yeah.
Yeah.
He strikes me more as an original than Stefan. Interestingly, because I think Stefan
Mhm.
gets along better with the originals. But like
Yeah.
Damon by far has the personality of an original
I feel like him and Klaus
way more
should
than
be
Stefan
best
does.
friends.
I'm surprised that they're not. Like
Yeah,
the fact that him and Stefan are friends, I'm like, that's miswriting. I'm gonna be honest.
I agree with you.
I think Elijah and Stefan would probably be more friends.
Yeah.
But I guess Staus. They
That
shipped their
was
names together. When Klaus met Stefan, he was in his like Ripper
he was in his Ripper
era,
days,
which
so
makes
yeah,
more
it makes
sense.
more
But
sense. So flipping the question around now. So what
hmm
characters we're calling all of the Fae of Avelia vampires because they're all basically vampires. We
hmm
know that Kingfisher is Damon. Who's everyone else, do you think?
Ooh,
I think Everlane is Rebecca. I'm just gonna put that out there.
she's 100% Rebecca. Like we love to hate her. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Rebecca. Saris is Elena. She annoys the heck out of
She
me, but I still
very
love her.
much is Elena. That's so true.
100%. Um, oh gosh. Oh, Danya is that one witch character that lived in the attic for a long time and annoyed me. What is her name? It also starts with a D. She married um one of the original boys. She's a witch. Why
Oh,
can't I think of her name? She's young.
yeah.
Because she annoyed me.
Davina?
Davina. She's Davina.
Yeah,
She
Davina.
annoyed me.
Yeah, she
She
was
had her
annoying.
reasons, but yeah.
She was annoying. That um I think that Carrion's probably like Enzo.
Oh yeah, and I love Enzo. I
I love
think Enzo is a
Enzo.
little bit more grounded than Carrion is. Although I do
Yes,
think some of Carrion's like swaggering is just him swaggering. Like I do
I
think
do.
personality wise he's
And I
closer
think
to
like
Enzo.
same with Enzo. Enzo grows into who we love so much, but like
It's true.
initial Enzo, like when you first meet him, he's just this
That's true.
like, you know,
He is very Carrion. No, I
yeah.
love Enzo.
I know. Me too.
Oh,
Enzo's great.
I do think Rin is Elijah. I was going
Yeah,
to assign somebody.
that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
yeah. And then Lorith is like freaking oh, what's his name? Cole?
Oh yeah, the one that runs off with Danya,
Yeah,
the Davina character.
Davina.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
I feel
I think
like.
he's better than Cole is, but yeah, I think
Yeah, he
so.
is better than
I
Cole
think
is.
he's more actually it's a similar parallel. We just said his name. Rebecca's boyfriend.
Oh, Marcel! I
Marcel?
forgot about Marcel, even though we just
So
talked about him. Yeah,
he's very Marcel, I
yeah, he is
think. I think he's
Marcel.
better.
I think that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah. Do we have a Klaus character? Is that just Belicon?
Kind of, yeah. I'm trying to think of
I
someone
mean,
that
like,
like I
or
Kingfisher could also be
oh,
Klaus.
what about oh, what's his name? The like crazy psycho witch guy who like the psychopath murderer
Oh.
witch guy. Oh, what's his name?
Yeah.
He ends up being trapped in the hell world with Bonnie and
Oh,
Damon.
um, it does start with a K. Kai.
Kai, yes.
Kai.
Belicon is Kai.
Silicon is absolutely Kai. I love that. That might be the best comparison. I'm trying to think. I don't want to say anyone's Matt. Matt would be, I guess, Malcolm, but I guess Matt's not technically a bad character. He just annoys me.
Matt's
I guess that could be Danya.
probably Hayden, honestly.
Oh yeah, or like Jeremy. Very Jeremy
Yeah,
coded
oh
in
yeah,
a lot of
probably
ways.
Jeremy. You're right. Definitely.
Both annoyed me deeply. They tried. You
Yeah.
know what? I give them credit for saying they're the only ones that stayed human through the whole stupid thing. I gotta give
Yeah,
them some credit for that.
that's
But
true. That's
Bonnie, Rin
true.
could also be Bonnie.
Ren could
Bonnie
be
would be, I
Bonnie.
think, is
Yeah.
yeah,
I know it's not Bonnie's fault, but Bonnie annoys me. I know it's just because of the things that they kept writing her character to do. It's not her fault,
yeah. Bless her. No,
but
I liked Bonnie,
she
but
I liked her in like the first season, and then as soon as she was
yeah,
like, "I'm done with vampires," I was like, "Bitch, then be done. Just stop."
yeah. I don't. I think her problem was her loyalty to Elena,
It
who
was.
refused to let go of vampires.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. That
but
Elena, I tell ya.
bless her,
Yeah.
causing all similar to Sarah's causing all the chaos for no
Yep.
reason.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do we get a Caroline character?
Carrion might not be too off from Caroline.
Carrion is Caroline.
The
I
way
could see
that
it.
there's some like if I remember correctly, some interesting character arc with him
Mm-hmm.
later that I
Okay.
think might put him in that like Caroline like kind of sucks. Like I did not dislike him in the beginning, but I could see why a lot of people
Yeah.
would. Kind of that like you dislike
I
him, but the
cannot
more you
see.
learn about him, he kind of grows on you. Which I
Yeah.
didn't dislike Caroline all that much up front
I
either.
didn't either.
But
I always liked her. I thought she got like I I I never disliked her, and then like she's my favorite character now. So,
oh yeah.
yeah.
She annoyed me and I would have been frustrated with her choices, but I didn't hate her as much as I know other people did.
Yeah. So
But
yeah, that was my Kiss of the Cure. I was like, we've already compared it so
great.
much to the Vampire Diaries. Let's just do
We have, yeah.
the
Let's
comparison.
go for it. I
Let's
like it.
just do it.
It's good. I like it.
Yeah. So other things we've learned in this chapter. Alchemists. Ceres is the chosen one. She's the most powerful alchemist on record. Of course she is. I thought it was
Oh, she is. Yeah,
interesting.
she's the chosen one.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that not like in this world, alchemy is literally just the power over Quicksilver. It's not other metals. That
Yeah,
was surprising to me.
which is interesting because that's not like traditional, like
Yeah,
Arthurian. I don't know. When I think of alchemy, I think of Arthurian stuff. Usually it's
yeah,
more than that. But
yeah. I mean, she
yeah.
can sense the difference between metals, so there is that, I guess. But like in terms of making metal do stuff, it would all have had Quicksilver in it.
Which leads to the thing to that Quicksilver really isn't metal.
Yeah,
It's more of a thing.
it is more of a thing. It's alive.
Yeah. Literally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I like. So,
Yeah.
eh,
Did you have anything you
what else
wanted to
happened?
talk about? So it was like
I'm trying to
I
think
said not a lot happened in this section of chapters, but that was a lie. Like actually a lot happened.
a lot more. I forgot about the bond thing, which we already kind of talked about.
Yeah.
Not that it like not to overly talk about the spicy scene because I think it's
Oh,
unnecessary, but I
we
do
can
think
talk about it. Let's talk about it.
well, I mean, I don't think we need to get into too much detail about it. But
Genie
I
off.
do think maybe
She was on the table. We're good. Go ahead.
you need I think the like important bit potentially is the like she talks about them like melding in more than a physical way. Like the tattoo
Mm-hmm.
thing happens, like there's very clearly like almost like an exchange of power or
Mm-hmm.
like an exchange of soul, something beyond a physical and
Yes.
emotional high
Yes.
happens. Which is why the whole Carrion comparison comes into play. Like that was all physical. There's more
Yeah.
than like there's a little more
Just a little more going
there.
on.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
It was mostly it,
Yeah, I
but I
think
do think that's
that
important to the book.
I think so too. It's gonna be important. Um, in terms of the actual writing of the spicy scene itself, it
Yeah.
was really good. She did a
She
good
did a
job.
good job. She didn't make it feel vulgar because there's certain
Yeah.
like spicy books that I've read where I'm
Yeah.
like I feel gross and like I want to take a shower afterwards
Yeah.
because I feel like I intruded
Yeah.
on something. This doesn't feel like that. This feels
No.
like a really detailed diary entry of someone
Yes.
who was like walking you through what happened.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It does make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the best like comparison I can think of. Um
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think I think she did a good job. I do think it's funny that I mean, it was like 10 pages, maybe more.
it was a long
It
like
was long.
she really took you on the journey of like she didn't brush over like anything. Like
No.
you from the moment that their lips touched to the end of the thing, you
You
knew
were
everything
there
that
with
happened.
them.
You
Yep.
were there with them. You
Yeah.
were observing with them. Um
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, no, she did a good
I
job with
think
it.
it's hilarious that one that Fisher definitely like magicked Onyx out of the room. Do we think he shadow gated Onyx out of the room?
I mean, Onyx might also have his own magic where
Oh,
he
that's
like popped
true.
himself out because he didn't want to be
Onyx was
there. I
like,
don't
"Oh
remember what
no."
the actual thing is.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like, "Whoop."
Well, I'm out. And then I do think it's also just so funny that Archer is just there with food, waiting.
Oh, I love the whole like and I also love his immediate so like what I thought was interesting about like that whole thing is he was like, "Oh, I heard exercising and I
Yep.
assumed you would be hungry." And I was like, once he realized, he's like, "I realized it wasn't bad. It was fun. So I'm here." And she was like, "Oh, no, I know we weren't doing that." And then he was like, "Oh, well, did he hurt you?" Like he's so loyal to Kingfisher, but immediately was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
did he hurt
Like,
you?
are you
Do you need the
okay?
healer?" Like he like immediately switched into like, "I don't care how loyal I am to Kingfisher. If he hurt you, we're
Yeah.
gonna have a discussion," kind of thing.
Yeah.
And she was like, "No, no, no." Which like Archer, love that.
Yeah. Archer's my man. He's a good
Love
guy.
him.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. I like him a lot. If we're comparing, so this is like the third book we've done that's had smutty things, right? Because like Fourth Wing has had
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Obviously
Akatar had
Akatar.
it. I don't.
Akamath.
I think the other one's Akamath. Yeah, like that
Yeah.
series, the Court of Thorns and Roses series. I think these are closer written to like a Rebecca Yarros
Yeah.
feel than to a Sarah J. Maas
I think so as
feel.
well. I think the idea behind the bond is closer to Sarah J. Maas, but the way that it's
Yes.
written is, yeah.
Sometimes Sarah J. Maas uses language when she's writing her sex scenes to describe parts of the body that I it's a personal thing for me that I just don't like that description.
Yeah, it takes you out of the
Um
moment. Yeah.
yeah, like I get why they're doing it. I get why she writes it the way that she does. I don't like it as much.
Yeah.
I like Rebecca Yarros' style of writing a little bit more. I do think
Mhm.
Rebecca Yarros focuses more on the emotional side instead of on the physical side, which I think is
Yes.
also what Callie Hart does in this, and I like that a
Yeah.
lot. It's the like swirling
Mhm.
like emotional entanglement on top of the physical
Yeah.
sensations
It's
that I
really
think is interesting.
yeah. I agree with you. It's more well, again, the reason why I'm like if you haven't read this book before, don't do chapter 22 when you're at work. It's like it's kind of like all encompassing. You're like there, you're
Yep.
seeing it, you're feeling the emotions. It's this like wave of like just overwhelming sensations in a chapter. And like she does it to the
Yep.
point where you're like affected by it. You're like, "Oh
No, it
my."
feels very intimate. Like
Yeah.
you feel like you've went on this roller coaster
Yes.
with them to the point that you're like, I need a moment.
Yeah.
Like I
I need
hope
to collect my
I need
thoughts.
to not talk to someone for the
Yeah.
next 10 minutes to
Yeah.
yeah. seem like a functioning human. Yeah.
Yes.
It's very it doesn't just feel like you're like watching something on like the TV that's just kind of like,
No.
the glimpses of what's going on or whatever. It feels very
Yeah.
you feel involved,
You
I
do feel
think. Yeah.
involved. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Good job, Callie Hart. Good spicy scene.
I really like Kelly Hart's writing style
Yeah.
in general with the way that she approaches things.
Me too.
I
I
like it.
want to know why Fisher just I mean, I get it. It's his character, but why he just pieces out and like essentially doesn't refuses to talk to her, acknowledge that it happened or talk to her about it. And then like cannot help himself with Carrion to be like, you don't understand.
He is we're doing a lot of media comparisons. That is the most Mr. Darcy role I have
Oh
ever
my
seen in my
god,
life.
that's so funny. Yes.
It's Mr. Darcy proposing and saying, "I hate everything about you and your family, but you're mine." And
Yeah.
her saying no, and him just brooding it. Like, he went home to Bingley. And, like, if anyone would have had on Elizabeth, he would have had this long, insane speech for no reason
He would have. Very true.
to them.
Which,
Yeah.
honestly, I think that in this situation, Carrion might be Bingley.
I think he's closer to Bingley than to Wickham, because I don't think
Yeah.
no, he's very much that, like, I think I mentioned that before, that, like, redheaded Bingley, like,
Yeah.
happy-go-lucky. Like, I think they could be buddies if Kingfisher got past the "you slept with my girlfriend before I knew her" thing.
Yeah. There
I think they
you
could be
slept
good
with my
friends.
girlfriend who's not my girlfriend before I knew her, so F
Yeah,
you.
I w in this section of Kingfisher's inability to be able to handle things, he reminds me a lot of Ross's, like, "we were on a break" thing, where
Yeah.
he just is not emotionally handling anything
Correct. Yep.
and
I'm
just
fine.
pretending like
I'm fine.
nothing happened.
I don't know why I'm saying it like this. I'm fine.
Fine.
Yeah.
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 I think Kingfisher is trying, and I do think Kingfisher's emotional capacity, whatever happened to him, he's not really dealt with it and isn't. It's only
Yeah.
been a couple of weeks, clearly, from whenever he was with Malcolm, which I think is safe
Mhm.
to assume was not a good
Yeah.
situation,
Yeah.
whatever that
Oh yeah,
was.
I skipped
And
over that. So like, yeah, Kingfisher was with Malcolm essentially
it was at the end of
possibly
my
for the
section.
last
Yeah.
110 years. Like that's where he was exiled
We
to.
we're making some assumptions that
Yeah.
for some reason we assuming against his will. We don't really know
Yeah.
why, or maybe it wasn't against his will. We don't know. He doesn't seem to like Malcolm, so we're assuming
No.
it's not a mutual thing.
Yeah.
But for some reason he's been gone for 100 years. And
Mhm.
Malcolm's like, it's been a couple of weeks. I do think Malcolm's charmingness is really funny
I
and
do too.
interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, like it's very velvety in a lot
It's
of ways.
giving Spike
But
from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
yeah, yeah. I don't think he's as good of a person as Spike is, but
No.
yes.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yes. He seems very like he's grotesque in like the alluring, like traditional vampire way
Yeah.
of like, I look gross, but I got a good personality, but actually I don't.
Yeah.
I'm just really charismatic.
Yep.
Um, but yes, yeah, there's clearly something going on. And then all of a sudden he has this helpless, he thinks helpless, she's not, human
Right.
woman shoved at him as she's dying. And
Dying.
somehow that made it where he could leave. We don't really know why he left or why he was
Yeah.
allowed to leave. Something about her caused this catalyst. We don't know why. He's
Yeah.
coming to terms with he has a mate who apparently can't bear children, which I don't
Yeah.
think he's upset about the not bearing children part. I think he's upset with the forced
No.
sterilization
About, yeah, the
part of it
violation. Yeah.
and how she's just like,
Right. She's
that's what
like,
they
this is
do.
what
And I'm like,
happens. And he's like, no, this is not just what happens. In fact.
no, you don't do that, which historically that's happened to
Yeah.
many people across
Yeah.
centuries, but horrifically.
Yeah.
Um, yes. Yeah.
Mm,
He's having a hard time,
he's
which like
having a hard time.
fair.
Also, to add to that, just to give him a little bit more grace, I mean, what Renfus said, they're a year away from being wiped out. Well,
Yeah, and it's his responsibility.
slightly important. Slightly
Yeah.
important. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I think
I
Saris,
do
after
think
hearing that, Saris is like, oh, maybe I should stop worrying so much about my emotions and maybe start worrying about helping these people not die, including myself.
yeah, I don't think she like I think she had a sense of what was happening, but I don't think the magnitude of like if they fail,
Yeah.
what's gonna happen kind of thing goes on. Um, but I don't know. She has always this is her character flaw. She has always been from the beginning so wrapped up in her own stuff
Mm-hmm.
that she cannot get outside of her own head. Like even stealing the stupid gauntlet that started all of this, could not get outside of her own head enough to realize that that was a stupid idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of that I think maybe had something to do with the Quicksilver, less about her impulsiveness. I think the
Very
Quicksilver
true.
in that was calling to her and
Stronger.
she wasn't
Yeah. She didn't
understanding
know
and
what
just
was
couldn't resist it.
happening. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
to give
that's a
her
good
some
point.
grace in
Such a
herself,
good
but
point. Yeah.
yeah, but still annoying.
Still annoying. Okay. I think that might be all that I have to
Yeah, I don't really have
talk
anything
about for
else.
this section. Important to note, we are taking a break next week. It
Yes.
is Labor Day weekend this week. But I
Yeah,
have a wedding to go to and a baby shower next week, and Colleen has got a bunch of stuff. What do you have going on?
I do. I am having a brunch at Leanne's. Leanne, if you watch this, we love
Oh,
you.
yes. We love you,
Um,
Leanne.
I have a brunch at Leanne's. I'm also very into Formula One. Formula One's back. I'm pretty certain I have a race next weekend. Pretty
Yeah.
certain. So, got things going on. I'm a busy girly.
We will
So,
be taking a break next
in my
week.
job.
And jobs,
Yeah,
yeah. So we will
those
see
two.
you in Monday after next with
So not this coming
chapters,
Monday, but
not this coming
next
Monday, but next, with chapters 25 through 27.
7,
Yeah.
25, 26, 27. Yeah, I know I did the math on my fingers down here. You
Nice,
just couldn't see it.
nice.
So, 25,
So
26, 27.
yeah, I guess we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Have fun, y'all. Go read the book.
Yeah,
Catch up
go
with
read the
us if you're
book.
behind.
Yes.
Go read it.
All right.
Or read a book. Doesn't have to be this
Yeah,
one. Read a
any
book.
books. Yeah, books are fun.
Yeah, it's fine. I love them. Clearly. Yes.
All right.
Damn.